Let me tell you a story, not something designed to make you feel brave or inspired. A situation, a clean one, a simple one, one with no ambiguity except the kind your brain creates on its own. Imagine this. You're standing in a forest just outside your city. It's quiet, too quiet. No traffic, no phones buzzing, no witnesses. Just trees, cold air, and a pressure you can't quite explain yet. A black SUV pulls up. It doesn't rush. It doesn't hesitate. It stops exactly where it intended to stop. A man steps out, a Russian oligarch. Not theatrical, not threatening, just efficient. No smile, no small talk. He opens the trunk, removes a metal suitcase, and places it on the hood of his car. Then he opens it. Inside, neatly stacked, cash. $10 million. Not future money, not valuation, not potential upside. Cash, heavy, real, finished. Then he pulls out a revolver. 6 chambers, 1 bullet. He looks at you and says, "Want to play Russian roulette? Pull the trigger once. If you survive, the money is yours. Now stop. Don't rush past this moment, because this is where most people think they're rational and quietly stop being so." Your brain immediately begins doing math. $10 million changes everything. No more alarms, no more bosses, no more pretending you care about meetings that don't matter. You imagine freedom. You imagine relief. You imagine the version of yourself that won. What you do not imagine, and what your brain actively avoids imagining, is the version of you that doesn't walk away. That's not a coincidence. That's a design flaw. The human brain is excellent at visualizing upside and terrible at emotionally simulating downside, especially when the downside involves finality. This asymmetry is not wisdom, it's a vulnerability, and it's exactly what this situation exploits. You accept, you lift the gun, your hand feels heavier than it should, your heart is pounding so loudly you're certain he can hear it. You press the revolver to your temple. You pull the trigger. Click. Nothing. No bullet. You're alive. Your knees almost give out. Adrenaline floods your body. Your brain does something dangerous in this moment. It rewrites the meaning of what just happened. It says, "That wasn't that bad. I handled it. I made the right call." But none of that is true. You didn't make a good decision. You survived a bad one. Those are not the same thing. You take the money. You move to the most beautiful city you know. You build a massive villa. Infinity pool. Floor-to-ceiling windows. A view that quietly humiliates everyone else's. And life feels solved. Now, fast forward. Your neighbor. He's a lawyer. Not famous, not viral, not admired on social media, but disciplined. He works 12 hours a day, 300 days a year. He charges $500 an hour. After taxes and living expenses, he saves about $500,000 a year. No shortcuts, no miracles, no sudden breakthroughs, just compounding effort, morning after morning. Year after year, 20 years pass. He now has $10 million. Same number as you. A journalist shows up. He writes a piece on the wealthiest residents in the area. Photos of your villa. Photos of his home. Photos of both of you with carefully staged smiles, expensive watches, and lives that look identical from the outside. From the article's perspective, you are the same. 2 men. Same net worth, same lifestyle. But there is something the article cannot show, something the camera cannot capture. Risk. You arrived at your 10 million by standing 1 inch away from death. Your neighbor arrived there by walking a narrow but predictable road. The journalist doesn't mention that. And neither does your ego. This is the core failure. We judge outcomes, not paths. We assume success proves intelligence. We assume survival proves skill. We assume money proves correctness. But survival is not evidence of good judgment. Sometimes it's just statistical luck. This is what alternative paths actually means. Alternative paths are all the outcomes that could have happened but didn't. In your game of Russian roulette, 6 paths existed, 5 where you live, 1 where you die. You experienced one. Your brain immediately treats that one path as proof, but strategy does not evaluate outcomes. Strategy evaluates distributions. The decision wasn't, will I survive? The decision was, am I willing to accept a 1 in 6 chance of immediate death in exchange for money? That decision is bad, regardless of outcome. But the mind doesn't think in distributions, it thinks in stories. Now let's make this uncomfortable by making it practical. Startups. You take a job because the equity could be worth millions. The founder is confident. The deck is polished. Everyone around you reinforces the same narrative. This is how real money is made. What you don't see are the alternative paths. The startup failing in 18 months, the funding drying up, the equity becoming worthless. You re-entering the job market with nothing but a story. But when one startup succeeds, we celebrate the winner. We don't line up the thousands that quietly died. That's Russian roulette with branding, trading. You put your savings into a can't-miss trade. A friend doubled his money last year. The charts look convincing. The logic sounds airtight. You win. Your brain locks in the narrative. I understand the market, but you never ask, how many paths ended in ruin? Because you didn't live those paths. That doesn't make them imaginary. It makes them invisible. This is why dangerous success is so seductive. Because once you survive, the downside disappears from memory. Your brain edits the film. It removes the bullet from the gun. It convinces you the chamber was always empty. Now here's the applied strategy principle. 2 identical outcomes can have radically different strategic value. $10 million earned through extreme risk is worth less than $10 million earned through predictable repetition. Not emotionally, not socially, structurally. Because one required luck to survive, the other required competence to sustain. This is why stable professions sleep better. Dentists, pilots, lawyers, consultants. Their success is not dependent on survival bias. It's dependent on systems. Repetition, error tolerance, predictability. Let me give you a deceptively small example. Dinner. A friend suggests flipping a coin to decide who pays. He loses. The outcome is settled, but the risk already occurred. When I said, "Next time I'll pay," he replied, "Considering the alternative paths, you already paid for half." That's strategic thinking. He didn't confuse outcome with fairness. Most people do. They look backward and assume inevitability. They forget the knife edge. This is why journalists misunderstand wealth. This is why social media worships winners. This is why people confuse volatility with intelligence. Risk is invisible once it doesn't hurt you, and your brain will aggressively protect that illusion, because admitting luck threatens identity. So here's the applied rule. Whenever you see success, yours or someone else's, ask, what were the alternative paths? Not the story told afterward, not the highlight reel, the paths that didn't happen. Because those paths still matter. They were part of the decision. And if you don't force yourself to see them, your brain will erase them for you. It will convince you the gun was never loaded. Congratulations, you survived. Just don't confuse survival with wisdom. Because the next time you pull the trigger, the chamber might not be empty. And luck never sends a warning before it runs out.
Thanks for spending time with us. If this sparked a new way of thinking, hit like and subscribe to keep the ideas flowing. And don't forget, check the description for the links to the original books and resources we used today. We'll see you in the next one.